The Remutaka incline divides the lower part of the North Island by following a north-south line running from Upper Hutt to Featherston. It was an essential road for early Wellington settlers. It allowed farm goods coming from the flatlands of the Wairarapa to come over the hill to Wellington. The road is carved out of a steep hillside and can be extremely windy. At its highest point, it is 555 metres above sea level. Needless to say, this was a challenge for early settlers who were using horses and carts to travel this windy road. The introduction of the Remutaka Incline Railway was a great blessing to the people of Wellington. It was completed in 1887 and was one of New Zealand's most ambitious early engineering projects. It climbed up the range's east flank, where the line rose 265 metres in 4 kilometres, requiring a special fell mountain locomotive, which gripped the rail using a centre gripping wheel. The morning train to Wellington on the 11th of September 1888 comprised of a single fell engine pushing 2 passenger carts and pulled 2 loaded goods wagons and a brake van at the back. As it rounded Siberia Curve at 1200 metres from the summit, the wind gusted up to 200 kilometres an hour and swept the 2 passenger carriages into the gully. Hanging above them was the locomotive with the rest of the engines attached, in a manner that looked like it could fall on top of them at any time. It was so windy that the rescue train had to stop inside a tunnel, and the men had to crawl along the railway line to get to the train to get people out. 4 children had been killed and 13 adults seriously injured. This was the first major loss of life on New Zealand railways. Only 5 rail incidents have claimed more lives in the country's history than this one. In October 1955, the old railway route between Upper Hutt and Featherston was closed. A new railway route had been completed, including an 8.8 kilometre long tunnel through the Remutaka Ranges, the second longest tunnel in New Zealand. When the Remutaka Fell railway line was closed, some of the land was sold off for farming and other uses, but a large part of it became the Remutaka Park Reserve and the Remutaka Railway Trail, and this is enjoyed by cyclists and walkers all through summer. Well, as you can see, it's a beautiful day for driving over the Remutakas in the MGA. I find the MGA will cruise quite happily over the Remutakas in 3rd gear, no trouble at all, as long as it doesn't get held up by some Japanese car and you have to change down to 2nd and then rev it up again. If you give it a bit of room, it'll just trundle over the hill in 3rd gear. This is an MGA 1600 Mark II. It was built by MG in the Abington factory in Abington-on-Thames, and it left the production line on the 7th of November 1961. I became its caregiver on the 25th of February 1980, and we've been together happily ever since. It didn't look quite like this when I got it. It arrived in a bright orange colour. It wasn't that colour for too long. I returned it to its iris blue, had the body off the chassis, refurbished everything and put it back together again. And it's been as good as gold ever since. We've had lots and lots of trips from one end of New Zealand to the other. We've met lots of the previous owners. We've done lots of car events.
If you like this video, please tick like, subscribe and share it with a friend. More videos at by George NZ.
All the classic events, including a few classic races like the Wigram Classic. The A is always fun to drive. It's easy, predictable, reliable and easy enough to look after. If you're looking at getting one of these cars, the main thing to look out for is the bodywork. Mechanicals are pretty straightforward. The B series engine's very easy to work on. It's only the bodywork that can catch you out and cost you some serious money. But once you've done the body properly and look after it, it's good forever. Well, almost ever. It certainly makes light work of the Remutaka Ranges today. There were 3 brake setups on the MGA. The early 1500 had 4-wheeled drum brakes, which work perfectly alright when they're adjusted up properly. Yes, you can get some fade out of them, but you've got to be trying fairly hard. The 1600 and the 1600 Mark II have disc brakes on the front and drum brakes on the rear. The Deluxe and the Twin Cam have 4-wheeled disc brakes, which are obviously better, but can be a little bit harder to get parts for. The different engine combinations, you had a 1500, a 1600, a 1622 like this car, and you had the MGA Twin Cam. The Twin Cam motors were slightly unreliable when the car was new, but all the problems have been sorted now, and if you can get one, they're a really good engine. Most people set them up with rubber mounted carburetors and electronic ignition, and they go really well, and still return around 35 miles to the gallon when driven quietly. A coupe version was also available, and it certainly looked very elegant. The MGA was sold all over the world. An awful lot of them went to America. In all, I think they produced just over 100,000 of them, which was pretty good for a small sports car company out of England in those days. Who needs Root Napoleon when you can have the Remutakas? Beat that view, Harry Metcalf. You can get all the parts you need for your MGA from people like Brown & Gammons, Moss Motors, Clark Spares in America. Parts really aren't a trouble. In fact, nothing's really too much a trouble for an MGA. Being that high, they added to it. They have.
honest with you, I haven't been over here for a wee while.
I will probably in the near future do another program on the MGA covering all its faults and flaws and what's good about it and what's bad about it. Mainly what's good about it, because it's pretty hard to find things that's bad about an MGA, because they're a lovely car to drive and enjoy. I think they are in many ways the perfect sports car. They're the sweet spot between vintage and modern, if you like. It's new enough that it gets along all right, but old enough that it's got a bit of character, a bit of fun to it. I also enjoy driving over the Remutakas, usually. Two things you've got to watch out for is motorists who don't know how to drive around corners, or think they are Everton and should get there in 8 minutes and 7 seconds, which I believe was the record from bridge to bridge at one stage. And occasionally, especially if it's wet, you can get diesel on the road for old-fashioned trucks that spill diesel all over the road. And that can cause a lot of trouble, because there's not a lot of runoff there, and if it goes wrong, it'll go wrong in a big way fairly quickly. So just sit back and enjoy the road, and subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel, because there will be more MGA and MG videos coming along. But I have been asked to do one on the MGA and show it off properly, so I'm looking forward to doing that for you.
Brucey got pulled over here by a cop.
No,
He's in the TC.
Oh, really?
I think he passed someone and the cop pulled him over. When you're allowed, you know, when you're allowed to pass someone. You shouldn't be going that fast in this old car, sir. I suspect.
Yeah.
You can't come over the Remutakas without going through Featherston. Featherston's a lovely little town. It's got a population of about 3,000 people. It was established in 1847, making it one of the early European settlers' towns. Maori had been there for a long time before, because it's an extremely good location. It's not far from Lake Ferry, it's not too far from the sea, it's got running water, the land is relatively flat and fertile, the rivers have eels in them and other such edible products, and we tend to drive straight through Featherston, which is a bit unfair. If you do stop at Featherston, there are several good bookshops, there is a very good cottage museum there that's worth visiting, and of course it has the Fell Museum, which covers all the history of the Fell locomotive, which I talked about a little bit before. It used to have a large military camp there. It was originally called Burling's after Henry Burling's, who in 1847 opened a accommodation house. After a nice drive over the Remutakas, we cruise into Featherston, and after a short break, we catch up with all the other MGAs that have come over to celebrate the 70th anniversary of the MGA. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, tick like, please subscribe. More videos coming along soon.